All right, let me talk to you a little bit about the tools of juicing. Well, the first thing that you're going to need is a juicer, and there's a couple to choose from, or actually there's three that I know of. This is your basic emaciating juicer. It uses a bowl that spins real fast, and the better the juicer, the faster the bowl spins. And this is a pretty good one that I picked up at Walmart. Not Walmart, but Sam's. Cost me about $50, but it has a high 10,000 RPM juicing speed on the bowl. And this does a pretty good job. The problem with this is there's several pieces to clean up. First you have your catcher that's you're going to have to clean up. Then you're going to have to clean, of course, the plunger, the top piece, the actual emaciating bowl. Get that off of there. So, anyhow, you're sort of seeing why I don't like doing this one. That's your emaciating bowl, and it chews up your food and then it strains it. But the problem with this is that as you juice, your strainer is going to get clogged with the fibers of whatever you're juicing. So that's going to hold back the juice, and eventually the juice flows over the top when it gets clogged up and runs into your catcher, which is another part you have to clean. And then you have to clean the actual juicing bowl. This catches the juice and it drips out. Now my problem with it is not only cleaning, why I don't like this one, it's not only the cleaning process, but it's also just how much I feel like is wasted, because you end up with a lot of pulp over here. In a better juicer, you're going to end up with dry pulp. This one, and the ones that I've always had, I've always ended up with pretty wet pulp. If you were to squeeze it, you're losing a lot of the juice and the micronutrients in that juice. The good news is that you are going to end up with some fiber in your juice because it's going to disperse some of the fiber into your juicing container, which you do need, but there's other ways around that. Another kind of juicer, which I've never owned, is I believe it's called a pulverizing juicer, where there's actually a couple of cylinders that mash against each other, and it pulls the juice in and it runs it down these cylinders and basically squeezes the juice and pulverizes it. Now what comes out on the other end is very, very dry, and you get a lot of juice from those. Again, I've never owned one. They're pretty expensive, about as expensive as my Vitamix that I decided to go with. But I've heard that they do a good job, but there's some things that they don't juice well. Which leads me to my personal choice, which is the Vitamix. And each of these have their strengths and weaknesses, of course. But this is the Vitamix, very strong blender. And what I usually do, and you need a couple of different things for this. You're going to have the blender, of course, the plunger or the tamper tool, and you need to cut up your fruit, which takes a little longer. So you're sort of going back and forth, and you're also going to need a straining bag. So what you do is you juice everything, it pulls it down to the molecular level, and then you pour the juice into or through a straining bag and use this to strain out all the juice. But the cleanup is a snap. You run water through it, run it for a few minutes, a little bit of soap on this, and it's good to go. The good thing about this that I like so much is that the amount of juice that you're able to pull out of this is really, really high. So that's something else you're going to need. The next thing that you're going to need is a cutting board dedicated to fruits and vegetables. No matter which one you get, you're going to have to do some cutting, and a good knife. So that's basically it for juicing. And it can be expensive to get started, but you can start with anything that you want or have in the house. Juicers go from $15 at Walmart up to $400 or $500, depending, and beyond if you want to go into commercial. The Vitamix was $2.99. I got this one at Costco, and I've been extremely pleased with it, and it does a lot more than that. So that's the reason I like the Vitamix. But it's all personal preference. So get your juicer. Let's get moving.